Hello everyone. It's Mona again from Back Pain Movement Makers. Today is day 77 and we are talking about the 7th of the 10 daily holistic healing habits. We are in a review period where we take one day for each habit, and there are 10 daily holistic healing habits. And we go live here for 365 days in a row, talk about healing back pain for good, but also living a fulfilled life. The daily habits, the 10 daily holistic healing habits, have been channeled from the highest consciousness through me, Mona. And the 7th of the 10 daily holistic healing habits, it's about consume spiritual and transformational input every day and preferably throughout the day. So, to get the best summary, I'm going to hand you over to the highest consciousness and let them do the summary instead, since they are the ones that gave me the information that there were 10 daily holistic healing habits that could help us to heal for good. First of all, what is spiritual and transformational input? Well, those are books that are talking about what you are, what you truly are, instead of trying to force you into limiting beliefs about who you are, and that you are never enough. You are never enough. You never do enough, and you never have enough. And that is something that you go through when you grow up. You get into the society's training program about what you are and what you're not, and things like that. And the spiritual and transformational input, we mean something that you could read, listen to, watch, or well, those are the most common ones. Why you need to have something like that to study is that you should have something as a contrast to the ego's voice and the programming. You are all powerful creators. And the way you look upon yourself, the view you have of yourself, determines the whole view you have on everyone and everything in the world. So, to change something in your outer reality, you have to begin to change your mind about yourself according to that, and also that thing according to that thing as well. But the most important thing is to get above the ego's battleground. You could call it like that. One of Mona's favorite trance channels is Tina Louise Spalding, and she channels Jesus and Ananda among others. And Jesus usually used the words to the ego's battleground, that it's something that really tells you what it's all about. Following the ego can never give you long time fulfillment and inner peace. So by studying material like this, you will begin to change your mind about what you are, that you are not powerless victims, but you are powerful creators, and you could create anything you want in the world, any experience at all. If you want to live in inner peace, you have to begin to look for it. And you cannot look for things like that outside of yourselves. That is impossible. That is why so many people all over the world are suffering, because they don't feel fulfilled. They don't feel purpose. They don't feel inner peace, and they don't trust themselves. They don't even know that they have an inner guidance that is always supportive and helping you. And on top of that, you always have us. You could call us the creator or the highest power or whatever you want to call us, but it's the greatest loving force there is. And we are always there for you. But if you don't study this kind of material, then you don't even know that some of these things even exist. And by using the things that are all around you, like other people judging you, and you take that as that you take that as something that is has something to do with you, but nothing what anyone else tells you or thinks about you, that is none of your business. That's up to them. You should worry about your own business, and your own business is about what you say to yourself. And are you haunting yourself down every day by not loving thoughts and comments and things like that? Of course you will feel bad. And that is something that you could begin to understand, that it's not what someone else does or a situation that is causing you suffering. It's your own thinking about what is happening or what someone else is doing to you that is causing you suffering. And when you begin to study this material, there are tons and tons of them. They will begin to shift your own programming and your own view about what you are, and that you have alternatives to the way you view yourself and everyone around you. Mona has said several times, and it's still something that is working for her and will for the rest of her lives. There are so many books that has helped her and Thomas, but her favorites are still A Course of Love, channeled by Marie Perron, and also A Course in Miracles. Helen, and Mona doesn't know how to pronounce her last name. And these are books that will help you to change your mind, that will reprogram your mind. There are also other books. Neil Donald Walsh, for example, his Conversation with God books. Mona is studying one of his books right now, and there are 25 core messages from the Conversation with God books, and she's enjoying every page of it. Eckhart Tolle, of course, The Power of Now is also a very strong book. And the thing with these books that are written in fully contact with us, it's not just the words and the message in the words that are doing the job. You also feel something else going on just by reading or listening to these books, it creates a feeling inside of yourselves that will help you too. By studying these books, they help you to increase your vibration. So it's not just the words, and there is some other message in it too, on a more energetic, vibrational level as well. And Mona and Thomas, they both study for, depends on how long they would like to read in the morning, but they study materials like this for at least 10 minutes every day. And they are also using the Vibe app, and they have chosen to follow A Course in Miracle reflections. So by studying materials like this every morning, and preferably even throughout the day, when Mona is working, she's also reading throughout her lunch break. And she has it's been quite a while before, since she also read at night, but that is something she really would like to have time for. But having two young daughters, and they have to have help with their homework and so on, it's kind of busy at night. So, but that is a goal, to at least read the Vibe app before she goes to bed. So studying this kind of material helps you, and helps you connect with your true self, your in higher vibration, and so on. And by using this as a daily habit, not just by usually, you should go to church every seventh day, every Sunday, to connect with what kind of your inner compass and so on. It's very important that you study this not just once a week, but every day, and preferably throughout the day also. So you get reminded, and you get contrast of what everyone else and everything else is trying to convince you to believe in instead. This kind of material will empower you instead of pushing you down. And of course, some of the religious texts, they have been rewritten several times throughout the years when they began to be written down from the beginning, to just give the information that might not make you that empowered, because people who are suffering are more easily controlled and ruled over. But there are coming more and more spiritual and transformational material out now, and there are so many of these that are free. Course in Miracles, for example, you could read it through on their website. Mona has given you the link to that one, so go back and check it out, or you could just Google it. So there are no excuses for not doing this, because you cannot heal if you have hateful thoughts about yourself. What does that do to you? Well, it puts you in fight or flight mode almost all the time. And what does that do to your bodies? it breaks down. Humans can begin to produce more stress hormones just by thought alone, just by thinking about things that have happened that were horrible, or things that might happen that can be horrible. And you don't need more of that. And the latest years now, they have not helped to reduce the stress hormone production at all. So we really encourage you, like we talked about the other day, be in contact with your true self or us. And on top of that, study transformational and spiritual input, because you need to have something as a contrast. You cannot listen to everything on the news and all the frightening events and all like that. You will not be able to heal that way. That's the truth. When you begin to understand that there are no worries, you don't have to do a thing to defend yourself, because you are an eternal being. Nothing that you or anyone else has ever done, could have done, and might do in the future can never ever threaten what you are and your existence. Ever. You are not your bodies. You're living in them this moment, right now. And you don't have to defend your bodies, because your bodies, it's just like, well, if this one is worn out, you get another one. And by losing your fear and aligning with love instead, that will begin your healing process for good. For good, not just temporarily. When you begin to understand that there's nothing that can threaten your existence, there's nothing to be afraid of, then you could begin to align with love for real. And there, as we said before, there are only two feelings that are behind every thought, every comment, every action, and so on, every feeling. Those are love and fear. And fear is really absence of love. And you cannot feel these two feelings at the same time. And if you begin to examine every thought, every action, every saying, every comment with what of these two feelings that are the underlying one, then you could begin to change your mind. If you, for example, think something you hear frightens you, then if you're conscious and present, maybe you won't have time or you're that trained to react on the thoughts. But when thoughts that are alike, they become magnets to draw to them more and more thoughts of the same frequency. And when enough thoughts have clung together, it will create a feeling, an emotion in the body. And then you could begin to examine, why am I feeling bad? Because all the thoughts and the comments and the actions that are having fear as the underlying feeling will make you feel bad. So then you could just, I've been thinking or doing or saying things that are not aligned with love. I better change my mind. And then you think other thoughts, hopefully the opposite ones. And then you could begin to change your life and your outcome and your life experience for good. Okay, we'll hand you over to Mona again. Right? Okay, that was everything for today. And this is my one of the books. Right now, I'm studying this book. I haven't had time to read it so far yet. And I'm also listening to, while I'm doing household chores, I'm also listening to the English version of Conversations with God, the first book again. It's so good. The audiobook is so good. Could really recommend that. And every morning I am now studying A Course in Miracles, the workbook. And to that, as I've told you before, I also have the commentary that Tina Louise Spalding, she has channeled Jesus for a whole year. So she has written a book called A Year of Forgiveness. And I really recommend that too, because it's easier to understand and it's more applicable to our society today than the book itself when it was written. So that's everything for today. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about sleep. Okay? Sleep, to have good sleep is essential for healing since we need to reset throughout the night. Okay? Until then, much love, everyone. Much love and blessings. Bye.